The McLaren company was founded by Ron Dennis, manager of the McLaren Formula One racing team. That itself had been founded by New Zealand racing driver Bruce McLaren. Bruce was also a racing car designer, an engineer and an inventor. However, he died in a racing accident at the Goodwood circuit in 1970, aged just 32. In the late 80s, Gordon Murray joined McLaren Racing as technical director and managed to convince Ron Dennis to produce a road car that Murray had been designing for many years. The car was designed to be the ultimate driving machine, and in 1992 the design became reality with the introduction of the McLaren F1. The car had 3 seats with a driving seat sitting ahead of the 2 passengers in a mid-mounted position like an F1 car. This, McLaren said, gives the driver a superior visibility to conventional cars. It was also the world's first production car to feature a carbon fibre monocoque chassis, helping the F1 reach a low curb weight of just 1,260 kilos. Power came from a 618 horsepower 6.1 naturally aspirated BMW V12. He had chosen not to use turbocharging to increase reliability and driver feedback. The engine bays used real gold as the lining, as it was a highly efficient heat reflector. In 1998, the McLaren F1 set the Guinness World Record for the world's fastest production car, posting a speed of over 240 miles an hour. This completely obliterated the 213 mile an hour record that had been set by the Jaguar XJ220 5 years earlier. And in 1998, having built only 106 units, McLaren ceased production of the F1 without a successor. In 2003, a joint project between Mercedes and McLaren saw the release of the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, a 5.4-litre supercharged Grand Tourer which had 617 brake horsepower, 1 horsepower less than the F1 that had appeared 11 years earlier. It also weighed 500 kilograms more, however it could still hit 207 miles an hour and reach 60 in 3.4 seconds. In 2011, McLaren launched its first independently developed model since the F1, the 12C. A carbon fibre-bodied mid-engined rear-wheel drive sports car, power came from a brand new McLaren-developed 3.8-litre twin-turbo V8 that produced 591 horsepower. It had a top speed of 207 miles an hour and could hit 60 in 2.9 seconds. In 2013, McLaren launched its second Ultimate Series model, the spiritual successor to the F1, the P1, a carbon fibre-bodied plug-in hybrid that used a 727 horsepower uprated variant of the 12C twin-turbo V8. This was combined with an electric motor for a total output of 903 horsepower. It could hit 60 in 2.6 seconds and had a top speed of 217 miles an hour, making it a direct rival to the Koenigsegg Agera R and the LaFerrari. In 2014, McLaren launches the 650S, an evolution of the 12C, using the same engine but uprated to 641 horsepower, 50 more than the 12C. At the time, it was the most powerful, non-hybrid road car that McLaren had ever built. It had the same 207 mile an hour top speed as the 12C, but could hit 60 in 2.7 seconds. In 2015, they launched the 570S, an entry-level model that used the same 3.8-litre twin-turbo as the 650S, but it was detuned to 562 horsepower. The car was designed for day-to-day use. It had a larger boot and a more comfortable cabin, and cost less than £150,000. Where the 650S and the 12C had been aiming squarely at Ferrari, the 570S was marketed as an Aston Martin and Maserati rivaling Grand Tourer. 2017 saw the launch of the 720S, an all-new supercar with a new 4-litre twin-turbo V8. It had 710 horsepower, could hit 60 in 2.5 seconds and had a top speed of 216 miles an hour. It also had a best-in-class economy of over 26 miles per gallon, helped by its aerodynamic shape and a low 1,400 kilogram weight. The 720S was met with high levels of expert approval. It was praised for its dynamics, speed and comfort, as well as being one of the most stable supercars at high speeds. 2018 saw the launch of the Senna, McLaren's third Ultimate Series model following the F1 and P1. However, unlike the P1, it didn't feature hybrid assistance, instead using a 789 horsepower version of the 4-litre twin-turbo V8 first seen in the 720S. The Senna had a 211 miles per hour top speed, could run a quarter mile in 10 seconds and can go from 0 to 100 miles per hour and then back to 0 in 8.5 seconds. Faster than the average family car will go from 0 to 60 miles per hour. In 2019, McLaren launches the GT, their first dedicated Grand Tourer model. It was praised for its spacious interior and comfortable ride. It could hit over 200 miles an hour, yet it had a boot the same size as a Vauxhall Astra. In 2020, McLaren launches the Speedtail, another Ultimate Series model. It had a 3-seat setup like the original F1, and like that original car, only 106 units ever got built. The hybrid drivetrain combined a 4-litre twin-turbo V8 from the 720S, uprated to 746 horsepower, alongside a 308 horsepower electric motor for a total output of 1036 horsepower, as well as 1150 newton meters of torque. The Speedtail could hit 60 in 2.9 seconds and had a top speed of 250 miles an hour, making it both faster accelerating and faster flat out than the original F1. In 2022, McLaren launches the Artura, its first hybrid sports car. McLaren's previous hybrids had belonged to the Hypercar Ultimate Series models. The Artura was also the first McLaren to use a V6 engine, combining a 3-litre twin-turbo V6 and an electric motor for a combined output of 671 horsepower, enough for a 0 to 60 time of 2.6 seconds and a top speed of 205 miles an hour. 2023 sees the release of the Solus GT, a track-only hypercar that weighs only 1,000 kilograms and is powered by an 829 horsepower Judd-developed 5.2-litre naturally aspirated V10 that revs to 10,000 RPM. The Solus will hit 60 in under 2.5 seconds and has a top speed of over 200 miles an hour, with an extremely limited production run of only 25 units. In 2024, following financial difficulties brought on by the COVID pandemic, McLaren was fully bought out by the Mumtalakat Holding Company, a state-owned sovereign wealth fund in the Kingdom of Bahrain. McLaren has one of the most pure model lineups available today, with its road car history always evolving around the mid-engine supercar. However, rumours suggest that they are currently developing a four-wheel drive electric hypercar, as well as a BMW co-developed SUV model for the late 2020s.